know, everybody on this panel knows that there's a long, long journey ahead of us, and we're just happy to share it.
Like Max said, you know, you work hard on something for a long time until it gains recognition. And like Jason said, with social media platforms, when things catch on, they can catch on relatively quickly. And I feel like this has been in the works, well, KIF has been in the works my whole life. So the training process was wherever I was before that. And you know, this year in June will be 20 years in the game. June 15th. It's a long time. And you know, it's like, I guess you can say KIF has gained a lot of momentum, and when it gained recognition from the beginning up until today, it has been relatively moving quickly. So the growing pains, I guess, is like the =1 concern that we had when we started gaining this momentum, because you need to know how to control the demand and really try to grow your business accordingly. So that has been really tough, and to go from actually two employees, and both of the first employees that started working were interns, unpaid internships, who are now, those two guys are now running the company with me. One is an operations manager, and one is the GM of the stores. And since then, we're now 48 employees, 4.5 years later. And that's been the toughest.
That's kind of rapid.
It is.
That's
It is rapid. It is rapid, and it happened rapidly too. And the way that you control it will ultimately decide. You know, you ultimately decide the fate of your brand. And when you build something, when you start building something from the beginning, you never really expect it to snowball into this huge thing that it can become. And when it does, you just have to have the right people near you. So I think building a team is super, super important when starting a brand, and that's what we've been able to do. So at first it was obviously only me, and it was done honestly through word of mouth and through friends. And I had started building a following at David Z before I left 5 years, actually 5.5 years ago now. Before then, I started building a following with all of the product I was building for a retailer that I didn't feel was suited for the kind of work I was putting in. So that's what led me to actually leave there, because it wasn't the right place for it. But after I left, I had a following, and those people really reached out when they started hearing that I was going to do my own thing. So I started meeting with people, and from day one, it's always been the same. The mentality needs to be there. You need to be very about your business, and you need to be passionate about what you're about to get into. So the whole reason you'd ever do anything in life, money or none, is only if you're passionate about it and if it's something that you really love and want to do. Because none of the hires that I have had up until today are strictly punching in and punching out and watching the clock. Because I know what that's like. At David Z, there were a bunch of those. I was passionate about what I was doing, but I saw what was happening around me, and I learned more from there what not to do than to do with my new venture. So I'm sure that a lot of you, some of you might be employed, some of you work for yourself, but if you are employed by someone else, I'm sure that you're learning those things around you. If you're an entrepreneur and want to leave and do your own thing, it's important to see those things that you would want to fix, and then fix them when you leave and do your own thing. And that's what I was about. So when I left, the first and most important thing was the passion. You know, and you can't buy passion. It's either you have it or you don't. And
yes.
In our market, you know, it's very hard to find the talent through the riffraff. And for me, talent isn't only in design. To me, talent is work ethic. You know, talent is wanting to be better than the next person and wanting to be the best at what you do. You could be sweeping floors and taking the garbage out, but if you're the best at what you do, I consider that talent. So hiring for each position, that's really what we look for. And I feel like up until today, the difference between myself and anyone else has been the work ethic on my end, and then the work ethic from all those that I hired that have been proving themselves since they started. And there have been very few. At first, it was obviously.
So Common's going to come rock for y'all today. So shouts to Common. I think he won an Oscar, right? So as also respect for being able to kind of rock with us and work with us and be a part of this ill Tangueray experiment, these three dudes are on brands. You might notice over here, you got Black Apple, you got Strawberry Roll, you got Kith. Everybody came in, everybody got a little card, right? You got a card with one brand name on it. Do you have it in your hand? All right, put that card in your hand. If you ain't got it, you jammed up right now. So this is what happens when you follow directions, right? Coming from three cats and follow directions. Follow directions. Put your card way high in the air and start to see it. So, as a part of this program, and as a part of you guys actually working with us to kind of, I mean, this is like win-win for you. Everybody here, based upon the brand that you have in your card, is going to be able to go shopping and take away one piece from these brothers' collection. Straight up. So, we decided that we are doing a collab. We're going to leave home with something from Ronnie, something from JG, and something from Maxwell Osborne.
Strikers is in the middle.